What is up, everybody? What is up, everybody? My name is Jeff Lightsy Jr. This is the Victor Formation Sports Show right here on the Jeff Lightsy Jr. YouTube channel. Be sure to come on in. Let me know where you're from, who you are, where you're from. Hit that thumbs up button on your way in. Put that who you are, where you're from, what school you represent. Who you are, where you're from, what school you represent. Because today we're going to recap the JSU versus Alcorn game. We're also going to talk a little bit about the FAMU being snubbed out of the FCS playoffs. Yes, I'm going to use the word snub, but you can tell me why I'm wrong if you think FAMU shouldn't have been in there. And also previewing the SWAC Championship game and even a little bit about the Celebration Bowl. And we've got some good big-time announcements that hopefully we can make in the next week or so. So sit back, relax, buckle up your seatbelts, hit that thumbs up button. We'll be right back after the bumper. Stay tuned. What's good, good people? What is good, good people? Don't forget to let me know who you are, where you're from, what school you represent, who you are, where you're from, what school you represent. Okay, shout out to Jonathan. Jonathan is a JSU guy. We've got Carlin Lee from Dallas. Hey, Dallas, Texas in the building. Shout out to Dallas, man. I had a lot of fun. I've only been to Dallas once and I had a whole lot of fun when I went there. Be sure to hit that thumbs up button today because we are going to be talking about recapping the JSU game. The amazing performance. I'm not going to harp a whole lot on Travis Hunter because I did a whole video dedicated to Travis. You can go check that out on my channel. Travis is amazing. Travis is the future of college football, not just HBCU football, but of all college football. He's that good. But there are some things that concern me. That's what I'm here to talk about today because there are some things that concern me about what's taking place with Jackson State. The last couple of weeks, they haven't really looked potent. Right? They've shown a lot of chinks in the armor. Shout out to Norfolk. Estella, Norfolk State in the building. The MEAC champs, North Carolina Central, have a long time to prep for who they assume is going to be Jackson State to play in the Celebration Bowl. Shout out to Charlie. He's a JSU alum. What's going on, Charlie? What's going on? Also, for the Facebook folks, it's Jeff Lightsy Sports over there on Facebook, Jeff Lightsy Sports. So, let's talk about, hey, shout out to EJ. What's up, EJ? What's up, EJ? Also, if you want to get in here, you can call in at 727-731-8723, 727-731-8723. Now, let's talk about the JSU versus the Alcorn game. The Soul Bowl. The Soul Bowl saw the Braves come in and really, hey, the Braves came to play. The Braves really, a lot of people, I'm not going to go as far as to say they had JSU shook, but the Braves came and made some plays. The problem was Travis Hunter made more plays. And that was honestly, that was the biggest difference in the game. JSU had 12, meaning Travis. Alcorn didn't. That's your ball game. JSU's defense, Reagan, and those guys were getting after the Alcorn QBs. They couldn't complete passes. They couldn't make any plays. The JSU receivers were dropping passes, fumbling the ball, doing stuff. Savion Wilkerson couldn't get going. The Alcorn kind of controlled the line of scrimmage from the defensive perspective. Mr. Howard, Jarvian Howard, who is a dog, by the way. Jarvian Howard, he should make somebody's training camp. I think he's going to get invited to somebody's training camp. Has he been invited to any of the game, any of the postseason games, the NFLPA? He'll definitely be at the HBCU Combine and definitely play in the HBCU All-Star, the Legacy Bowl, the All-Star game. But that young man is a beast. Transfer out of Syracuse, has been a dog for leading rusher in the SWAC all year. I think he finished with 11 touchdowns on the season, roughly around 1,300 yards on the season. Jarvian Howard, he's going to be invited to somebody's training camp. I really, really like the way he plays. Travis Hunter is a playmaker. Travis Hunter is insane. I did a whole video dedicated to Travis because he's that good. So I'm not going to harp a whole lot on him, even though you kind of have to. You can't tell the story of the game without talking about Travis. The O-line. So let's talk about the O-line. And this is what's kind of worrying me because it's not just this game. The last few games, the offensive line that was rebuilt during the offseason, that was reconstructed, hasn't really gotten that push that they were getting at the beginning of the season. They didn't get that push in the Campbell game. Not really. No, Campbell kind of did what they wanted to do on the defensive line. Southern, they finally did towards the end. There were some big plays. They got a good put now. They did their thing against Texas Southern. And the reason why we know that is because Savion went for over 200 yards. So they did their thing against Texas Southern. But the Alabama A&M game, they didn't do. They weren't crazy impressive. And then Alcorn, I mean, 44 for Alcorn. I don't know his name. I can't think of his name, but he was wreaking havoc. It was at times I was like, yo, you gotta double team him. But I tell you, shout out to Marquand, because Marquand been on this all year. He said we're going undefeated. We're beating every team by 3 touchdowns. Now, they haven't beat every team by 3 touchdowns, but he did say that they were going undefeated. Now, you can say one of the linemen was hurt. Yes, but that has nothing to do with the fact that you're getting pushed around. One lineman can be very detrimental. I'm not going to act like it can't. But the fact that you are supposed to assert your dominance over your opponent, and you weren't able to do that against Alcorn. Now, granted, I'll get it. This is a division rival. This is a conference game. This is their senior day. This is their last home game. All of those things matter, right? Like, they have a really good head coach in Fred McNair. But still, I thought we would see more of a push from that O-line at JSU. And then Shedeur didn't have his best game. Shedeur actually might have had one of his worst games of his career. The O-line didn't play horrible. We know we have to fix it. I never said they played horrible. I just said I expected more of a push. I thought they would put – I mean, this was an Alcorn team, albeit a solid team. But this was a team that was 500 on the year. 5-5 going against a top 5 team in FCS, going against the number 1 HBCU team in the country, going against a 10-0 team. So I thought we'd see more of a push. That was my only thing. Let's see. Dallas Daniels needs to find his hands if he wants. I agree, Rod, because Dallas – at one point, I thought Dallas was going to be a 1,000-yard receiver. Now, the way JSU runs their offense, sometimes it's tough. It is really tough for one receiver to crack 1,000 yards because they kind of distribute the ball to any and everybody. They don't have like a go-to guy. But I thought once it wasn't Malachi, I was like, okay, I'm thinking Dallas Daniels. He is going to have to get those hands together. Shane Hooks, same thing. Shane Hooks got to hold on to the ball. Can't be letting dudes come through, punch the ball out. And take your lunch, man. That's your money. The ball is the money. You can't let them take your money, man. Let's see. The guy Hayes replaced was a beast, but he's out. Yeah, that's very true. Now let's see if anyone has noticed that JSU has been playing a lot of players that could have something to do with the offensive side of the ball. What do you mean, Thomas? What do you mean they're playing? I mean, they play a lot of players all the time. So I'm trying to figure out what you mean. QB1 held on to the ball too long. And see, he can do that sometimes. He can do that. Shedeur's a really accurate passer, and Alcorn was able to make him inaccurate for most of the game. Alcorn was able to make some plays in the backfield, was able to really disrupt a lot what JSU had going on offensively. And so sometimes you do see Shedeur hold on to the ball too long. That's something that his dad has come out and talked about. His coach has come out and talked about. So that is something that, isn't abnormal. But I do like to harp on, and I don't. It's not an excuse, but I do like to mention Shedeur is still a true sophomore. Now he's 2-year starter, but he is still a true sophomore. So that is something to also. I want Malachi too. I've yet to be proven wrong. I've said the entire time Malachi is the most talented receiver on this team. Malachi is that dude. Malachi is a beast. Malachi is an NFL player, both as an athlete and as a wide receiver. There's got to be something else going on there. I don't know. I have no inside information. There's got to be something going on there with Malachi. I would love to see Malachi play, man. I really would love to see him play. Let's see. Is not holding on to the ball long and using the O-line to hold their blocks or something. This is true. They can only hold on for so long. If you want to get in here, 727-731. What's going on, O'Neal? What's going on? That's what we're talking about, Sandra. I'd love to see Malachi get in there too, man. I'd love to see Malachi. Let's see. Sure, you're glad JSU had a tough game. Will you be able to control yourself when they are they going to lose, though, Jen? Who they going to lose to? Because I'm going to be in the building for the SWAC Championship game, and I don't expect them to lose that game. Now, the thing, and this is why I tweeted this earlier, I really wish the MEAC had a conference championship game. I think it is so unfair that the MEAC gets a month Today is November 20th. The MEAC is done playing football until the Celebration Bowl that takes place on December 17th. They won't play another game until December 17th. To me, that is so unfair. How is it that you get a whole month to prepare for a team from the SWAC when, say, if it was Grambling and Southern, say if either Grambling or Southern, well, Southern could quite possibly make it to the Celebration Bowl. If they beat Grambling, they lock up their spot in the SWAC Championship game. And then if they were to beat Jackson State in a rematch, they would get a chance to play in the Celebration Bowl. And the whole time, the winner of the MEAC, North Carolina Central, shout out to North Carolina Central, went out there, handled their business against all the different teams. They would have a whole month to prepare for them. To me, that is so crazy. I tweeted this out earlier. I'm like, yo, how is it that the MEAC gets I really wish the MEAC had a conference championship game. One, there's co-champions in the MEAC. North Carolina Central is toting around that they're the MEAC champions, and they are. They're going to represent the conference in the Celebration Bowl. And Howard is toting around saying that they're the MEAC champions, which they are technically. And although they won't go on to play in a Celebration Bowl, they are technically still the MEAC champions. That is ridiculous. That is super ridiculous, super insane to me. Oh, I think somebody called. You called back. For some reason it didn't pop up on my screen. Call back 727-731. I forgot the numbers on the screen. 731-8723. That is ridiculous to me, man. That is so ridiculous. We're coming in here. Be sure to hit that thumbs up button as you come in. So, but the thing about the JSU offense, they're going to have to tune up. They're going now, granted, I think having this Thanksgiving week off is going to help the team. Yeah, how many champions do they have? Amber, you're right. How many champions do you have? Like, how is it that, you're a champion, you're a champion, you're a champion, you're a champion. You know who's not a champion, though? And I don't want to bash on them because, they have a good program. South Carolina State ain't a champion. 2-8 don't get you the MEAC championship. 2-8 doesn't get you a MEAC championship. And the only reason why I can chuckle a little bit, because what South Carolina State did in 2021, hey, shout out to them. That's awesome. HBCU national champions handled their business, got a 21-point win over Jackson State in the Celebration Bowl. Nobody else can claim that. Like, since Prime has been at JSU, and they play football during the fall. Let's leave it at that. Since Prime has been at JSU and they played football games in the fall, no one can go out there and say that they put 21-point spanking on JSU. So, kudos, clap it up to that. That was 2021. That was 2021. And in 2022, instead of handling their business on the field, they were too busy turning to the cameras at HBCU game day saying, we ready for Jackson State. We want to play Jackson State. You should have made sure you handled your business against the folks in the MEAC first. Instead of worrying about what's happening on 1400 Lynch Street, you should have made sure you handled your business against the folks in your conference. Because I think that very next week, you got curb stomped by Morgan State, who I think is building a mini little beast over there, Coach Damon Wilson, 41-14. And so instead of worrying about JSU, should have been worried about your 4 or 5 game MEAC schedule, and then maybe you would have had a chance to play Jackson State. But instead, at 2-8, you will be at home watching North Carolina Central potentially play Jackson State, or North Carolina Central play whoever wins the SWAC, right? And now your best defender, your best defensive player has entered the transfer portal. Now you could say, whatever you want about that. I don't have any inside information on that. But BJ Davis, the star inside linebacker for South Carolina State, has entered the transfer portal. And he could very well end up at a school in the SWAC. So there's that. Let's see. Are the receivers not getting open? Is that why 2 is holding on too long? I like Wideman as well. I hope he doesn't enter the transfer portal. I hope he doesn't enter the transfer portal neither, because I think Malachi Wideman is a special player. He had 12 touchdowns in essentially 7 games last year. He is ridiculous. Why he's not playing, that's a question for the coaching staff. Will he enter the transfer portal? I hope not. It'll be a second-time transferring, but in the world of college football in 2022, that's the normal. Kids transfer 2 and 3 times in college football. Kids end up playing 5 and sometimes 6 years in college football. That's just the way the world works nowadays. So now this is another thing, Rod. I've seen this too. What happened to Nugget? Didn't get no playing time against Alcorn. He didn't get much against Texas Southern. Was it Texas Southern? He didn't get much against Alabama A&M either. He didn't get much against Alabama. I don't know what's happening with Nugget. Let me go ahead and put that on the record. I have no idea. I know that he wasn't playing a lot early in the season either. When Travis was hurt, it was like, okay, well, at least you got Nugget on one side. But you saw Kevrick Wiggins. You saw Jalen Hughes. You saw, obviously, Isaiah Bolden. You saw a lot of guys playing that wasn't named Deion Warren, Nugget Warren. And then he started playing again. He came on the show. He came on my show, talked to me. He was like, yo, it was rough at the beginning of the season, but I'm good to go. I'm locked in. He played a lot against Campbell, played a lot in those middle games. And then the last few games, he hasn't played a whole lot. So I don't know what's going on in there, over there with Nugget. I have no idea. I haven't asked him. I haven't asked anyone that knows him. So I have no inside information on that. It is interesting to see what's happening with Nugget. I hope he gets a chance to showcase his abilities and showcase his skills in the last 2 games of the season, also at the HBCU Combine and at the Legacy Bowl. Hopefully he gets invites to those things so he can continue to show off his skills, because Nugget is a guy, when he was the first big recruit, he reminded me of that. He was the first big recruit to go to Jackson State, not named, or to choose JSU, not named Sanders, right? Like Shador and Shiloh, obviously, they committed to Jackson State. But Nugget was the first non-Sanders child to, honestly, he was the first recruit at Jackson State for Coach Prime, period. Like he said, he was the first one to get an offer from Coach Prime. And so to kind of see he's not playing, there's got to be something there too, man. And here's the thing. Here's my thing. You guys know I love Coach Prime. You guys know I love the JSU program. I love everything that they're doing, not just for themselves. I make videos on it all the time. But I don't know. Not having guys that are really, really good and have been very, very beneficial for your program, not play. I would like to just know what's happening. Brian says Shiloh's not a good cover safety. Coach Prime should call Ed Reed to help Shiloh. Ed Reed's he's got his thing going on in Miami, but that's not a bad idea, Brian. That's not a bad idea at all. Said character means a lot with Coach Prime. Now that's true. I mean, I cannot argue this point. Character means a lot to him. You said the same thing, Amber. Character matters. Nugget got pulled after the late hit on Quincy Casey. Yes, he did. He last week, and then he didn't play at all the next week. Now, a late hit getting pulled, I'm not going to argue with you on that. To have that linger over to where you don't play any significant snaps the very next week in a close game, and he's a player that can help you, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I have no idea what's going on. If you want to get in here, 727-731-8723. Let's keep in mind, Malachi plays 2 sports, so he'll be playing basketball for JSU in January. That's true, and that's very true, Vanessa. Shout out to you, Vanessa, for bringing that up. But the only thing is that has nothing to do with him not playing right now, because he balled out last year, scored 12 touchdowns, and then went and became a starter for the basketball team later that season. I mean, later in the year. So, he's capable of doing both. We've already seen him do both. But why is he not playing right now? Why is he not playing right now? That's what we're still trying to figure out. Especially with 2 games, which let's assume, right? Can we assume? Is it safe for us to assume that Southern is going to be Grambling? Or is that a bad assumption? Actually, you know what? It is a bad assumption. I'm a Graham fam guy over here myself. So, yeah, that is a bad assumption. But let's just, for the sake of argument, let's play as if Southern beats Grambling in the Bayou Classic, right? And you'll play Southern again. One thing I think Southern will do, and you guys can let me know in the chat. Let me know if you want to call in. One thing that I think, we got somebody calling in. I don't know why this thing. What's going on? You're on with Jeff.
My name is Camille.
What's going on, Camille? What's on your mind?
I wanted to ask a question real quick.
Yeah, go for it.
Who is the secondary quarterback for JSU?
What do you mean? Like, who's the leader of the secondary?
Who comes after Shador? Who takes Shador's place?
Oh, the secondary quarterback. I'm sorry, the second string QB. It's JP. JP's the second string quarterback.
All right. My question is, if they want to win games, when he gets hurt on offense, why don't they train him to be just as good as Shador, so that when Shador gets hurt, he can just come in and take over and score and win the game for them?
Well, it's not that simple. If it was that simple, everybody would be doing it. They train him. They give him the same training as Shador as far as practice. He doesn't work with the first string, but he knows all the plays and do all that. He's just not as talented. I mean, he was a walk-on at Ohio State. He's not a soup sandwich. He's not garbage, but he's not Shador. Like, Shador is a special player. Shador is a guy that will be playing on Sundays, and everybody can't say that. So JP, he holds his own, but he's just not Shador. He's just not the same caliber player.
Okay, well, who's the third one then that comes after him?
He's third string for a reason. His name is Grayson Thompson, I want to say. He's number 12 as well, same as Travis, but he's third string for a reason.
Wow. Okay, then, like this last game, if it wasn't for Travis Hunter and the defense, they would not have won the game.
I agree. But that's the biggest difference, is the fact that you do have a Travis Hunter. Like, that's the benefit of having a star player like him, is that he can bail you out sometimes. If you test him one too many times, like Alcorn did, it was a bad throw by the quarterback, he makes the pick six. And then he makes a catch that, I don't know, players in the NFL can't even make that toe drag that Travis made. Now, granted, you only need 1 foot in college, and that 1 foot toe drag got him 6 points.
Right. Yeah, I was glad they challenged that. I was like, wow, that's interesting. But my thing too isn't Bartolone the offensive? He's the
OC. Yeah, he's the offensive coordinator. Yes.
Yeah, he's the coordinator. So my question is, when they go to this bowl game on the 3rd or whatever, how is he going to train them different so they won't be as bad? Because the next team they run up against is going to do the same thing, because now they know all they have to do is throw Shador off, just run at him, and he gets all discombobulated and throws the ball away. So how are they going to train differently so that doesn't happen anymore?
Well, that's what they'll have to figure out. I appreciate the call. I'm going to answer some of your questions right here on the stream, but I appreciate you calling in.
All right.
Thank you. So one, it's not that simple. You can't just just throw another guy in there. So if Shador is messing up, just those other guys aren't Shador. And there's a reason why Shador is QB1 and they're QB2 and QB3 and so on and so forth. The thing with Shador is, one, I would really love to see what this offense look like with Malachi. I'm gonna keep saying it. I'm gonna say it till the cows come home. I would love to see what this offense looked like if Malachi Wideman was playing. I feel like it would look a little different. 2, with the emergence of Travis as the receiver, we could potentially see the offense grow as well. Now, I don't want them to try to force feed Travis. We've seen that before. Prime called it out. He said, you tried to force feed Travis. It led to an interception in the end zone. I think was it against Southern? I can't remember which game it was, but it was a interception in the end zone, and that was unnecessary. But Travis as a receiver, you have to play. You have to throw him the ball. As you see with the toe drag touchdown, as you see when he got his hands on the ball on the interception, he is a special player with the ball in his hands. Period. There's no other way around it. There's no other way of slicing it or dicing it. He is special. And so, therefore, they are always going to continue to try to get him the ball in different ways. Now, in that SWAC championship game, like I said, once again, I'm happy that they get a bye week. They're going to get this week to rest up. They're going to get this week to put in the game plan. They're going to prep as if they're going to play Southern more than likely, right? And since they've already played Southern and they had a lot of success against Southern, they know what to expect. Oh, let me see. They know what to expect, and we will see what happens in that game. Southern's got to handle their own the Bayou Classic. What's going on? You're on with Jeff.
This is Razel.
What's going on?
What's going on? I'm calling from St. Louis, Missouri. Shout out to Kevin Coleman.
Hey, shout out to Kevin Coleman. What's on your mind?
Man, I'm hearing all the stuff that you're saying with this offense with J-State, man. I like the emergence of Travis Hunter late in the season. I think that's going to really help. But if they put Malachi in there and Kevin Coleman, imagine what this offense can do. The defense is holding it down all year. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Do you feel like Coleman's not playing enough? He's out there. Do you think he's not playing enough? You think they're not targeting him enough? What you mean?
Well, he's out there on special teams, but yeah, they need to put him as at least the number 3 receiver.
Well, he plays a receiver. They've targeted him a few times. Now, sometimes Kevin has dropped the ball. He's had a case of the drops a time or two, but he gets out there a receiver.
Okay, well, I ain't been catching the whole game, but if they spread that ball around, spread them out. You Travis Hunter on one end, Malachi on the other end, and you got your slots, whatever, man. That'll be very dangerous, and you got that running back. So I don't know what's going on with Malachi, but as you can see, the JSU, a lot of these teams is bringing their A game to them, and they're not putting up as much points as you saw early in the season. So I'm just saying, there's a SWAC championship coming up. Hopefully they'll win that, and then you got North Carolina Central just watching the whole time.
Yeah,
but that's my thing.
Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you calling in. Be sure to call again.
All right, no problem.
Appreciate it. Yeah, I don't know. Kevin plays receiver. He said he don't watch those games all the time. We'll kind of tell. What's going on? You're on with Jeff.
Hey, Jeff. This is JSU Tigers 06. How are you?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
That's good. I'm doing good. Listen, I think Coach Prime, it's a method to his madness why Malachi's not playing.
Okay, talk to me.
So it's no film on Malachi for real. And I'm like Dragon mentioned it too. Dragon 1998. He's gonna play these last 2 games.
You think so? You feel like he is?
Him and Travis on the wings, and they're gonna rock it. They're gonna be explosive. That's just what I feel.
I hope you're right. Appreciate you calling in. Anything else for us?
No, I'll call back in later.
Okay. I appreciate it. I hope that's the game plan. I don't know if it is. It'd be an interesting game plan because there's tape on Malachi from last year, but we'll have to wait and see. What's going on? You're on with Jeff.
Hey, Jeff, how you doing?
What's going on, buddy? How are you?
I got a couple questions I want to ask.
Talk to me.
Number one, Wideman's not playing because he's not coming to practice on time. He's not going to class. And that's Deion Primetime biggest concern. Okay. 2, people got to realize that our offense is hurt. You're playing with a hurt quarterback, and then you have to realize
cut your computer down a little bit in the background. I'm listening, but we can hear the echo in the background.
Okay. What about now?
Yeah, you good to go. Talk to me.
Okay. Well, like I said, the offense is hurt. If you're a football fan, you watching the game or going to the game, you can realize that the offense got several players that hurt. But he has his main players that he's leaning on to is letting him down. And I think the offensive coordinator is letting him down a little bit because he didn't try to get QB1 out of the situation. None of that yesterday. But the offense played well enough to win the game with Travis. Now, I just agree with the lady just a few minutes ago. He got a plan, and my understanding that he's trying to get Malachi to start coming to practice early because he's missing 2 men of them.
Now, I wanna ask you this. I'm curious. Is this valid information that Malachi is not coming to practice on time? Like, do we have source information? Like, I don't want to put that out there about the young man and it not be true is why I'm asking.
Yeah, that's true. That's the key source.
Okay. Well, okay. I appreciate you calling in then. Appreciate it.
I appreciate you, buddy.
No problem. No problem. See, I don't like putting out stuff that may or may not be true. I haven't confirmed that about Malachi, but you know, he isn't playing, so it's got to be a reason. What's going on? You're on with Jeff.
Hey, this is Mr. Kelvin, man. Calling from Georgia.
What's going on, Kelvin? What's on your mind?
Hey, man. The problem with Jackson State, I think they're gonna win it all. But I think the thing I see the most is complacency. They're not taking the competition. They're not taking the competition seriously. Like, I mean, they know they're more talented than the other teams. And I see that a lot of times, you know, if you got the depth, you got the depth, but at the same time, you got to start taking your opponents more serious. They should be dominating every game because they have more talent than everybody.
Well, that's what that coach says. I appreciate your call. Appreciate your call. And I'm gonna hit on what you're saying, Kelvin, but I appreciate it, man. Now let's talk about what he's saying. I think there may be some truth to what Kelvin is saying. And here's why I say that. It's because every single game, now Prime has talked about this, guys. It's not me just making this up. Every single game, they start off slow, right? Prime has come out and said, like, I don't know why we start off slow. I don't know if it's because we're coming out. We think teams are going to lay down because we're JSU. They think we just walk on the field and folks are going to faint because the fans do. Now, the fans literally do faint when Prime and them come through. They make the grandioso entrance, whether it's at home or away. They come through the crowds. They come real swagged out, jerseys tight, everything's clean, real nice. They got all the they got 50 million cameramen. Travis has a cameraman. Shador has a cameraman. Deion Jr. is a cameraman. Deion Jr. has a cameraman. Like, so they got everybody then they're filming a documentary that's going to be on Amazon Prime. So you see the cameras and stuff everywhere. Like, it's a aura when they come through. You can see it through the screen, right? Because they have so many cameramans. We all, even if you've never been to a game, you get to be a part of it. And I don't know if all of that is why they come out slow. I don't know if that, what that has to do with anything, but they do come out slow. And so maybe, is it because they're complacent? I don't know. But I do know this. You come out complacent against North Carolina Central, you're going to have a long day on your hands. What's going on? You're on with Jeff.
Yeah, Willie Bowman, calling from Alabama.
What's going on, Mr. Bowman? How are you doing?
Oh, this is just a guess on my part.
Okay, let me
I think if Malachi's coming to practice late, I think his problem might be the age-old problem that I had as a kid, and that's girls.
Possibly. I mean, that's possibly anybody in college. It's a lot of women when you're in college, especially when you're a star on two-sport athlete.
Well, Deion had a meeting with a company that he's involved with a young lady a while back. I forget the name of the company, but at the end of the meeting, she asked, is there anything that I can do for you, anything I can get for you? And he told her, get me some condoms, because these girls on this campus are something else.
Okay. I haven't seen that. I ain't saying you lying. No, don't get me wrong. I ain't saying you lying. I just haven't seen that video myself. I'm gonna have to look that one up.
It's out there. It's a meeting that he had with an associated company. I forget the name of the company. I know a young white lady is in charge of it.
Yeah.
And there's a guy that works for her that comes on campus with him. And that's the last thing he asked her. And she said, she said, what can I do for you? And he said, get me some condoms, because these girls on campus are something else.
I got you, man. Hey, I appreciate you calling in, Mr. Bowman.
Thanks for taking my call.
Hey, no problem, man. Be sure to call again. I appreciate it. Yo, I don't know nothing about that, man. I ain't gonna lie. Shout out to Mr. Bowman, though, but I don't. That was pretty funny. I ain't gonna lie. Now I said the same thing about Campbell, and Campbell the Campbell game, you won by 8 points. It was 22-14. Like, and here's the thing. Like, at one point, Jackson State looked unbeatable. I ain't even gonna lie. Just as a person who watches football, looking at their schedule, looking at the way they were playing, it was like, yeah, I don't know if this team. Not only do I not think they're not gonna lose, which I still don't think they're gonna lose, But it was like, I think they're going to beat every team. They were winning on average by 30 points, right? They was averaging 40 points a game and only giving up 10 points per game. And so it was like, yo, I don't know if any team, not only are they not going to beat them, I don't think any team's going to even come close, right? And so in the last couple of weeks against a mediocre Alabama A&M team, just call it what it is, an Alabama A&M team that lost to Mississippi Valley, a team at the time who didn't have any wins, just call it what it is. A mediocre Alabama A&M team and an Alcorn team that is well coached, but it came in with a 5-5 record. They have struggled to move the ball. They have struggled to make anything happen on offense. And if it wasn't for two spectacular plays by Travis Hunter, now that's why you go out and get a Travis Hunter, and everybody can't do that. But if it wasn't for two spectacular plays by Travis Hunter, we could be talking about a different ball game against Alcorn. Because Alcorn, albeit they weren't getting a lot of yards per carry. I think he only averaged 3.3 yards a carry, 3.5 yards a carry. But they were smash mouth. 44 from Alcorn was giving JSU offensive line problems. Savion carried the ball 21 times. You know, I'm a big guy that says Savion should get between 25 and 30 carries. He got 21 carries, but he was only averaging 3 yards a carry. And so that means your offensive line was kind of getting pushed around. That's a problem moving forward. Seems like the offensive line is struggling moving forward. What's going on? You on with Jeff?
Yo, what's going on, man? I'm watching your show, man. I love your show too, bro.
Hey, I appreciate you calling in. Appreciate it.
Jackson State, I'm a big fan, man. What I've noticed about Jackson State a lot is that when they play teams that talk smack, or there's some type of something going on, they talk smack online, and they take the game way more serious and they demolish their teams. But the teams that comes in with the lesser records and stuff like that, it's like they take them lightly. Like if you notice FAMU situation, they took care of business. They played against Southern. They did the little video. They took care of business.
Yeah.
It's like they need motivation to win games, blow people out. So that's the one thing I do notice about them.
I can see what you mean, man. Appreciate you calling in. Make sure you call again. Appreciate it. Now let's address this. Dang, where did that comment go? What's going on? Where did it happen? Let's see. Where did it happen? Oh man. Now this comment right here. You're acting like Travis ain't on the team. Nobody's acting like Travis ain't on the team. I did a whole video dedicated about the greatness of Travis Hunter. The fact that he's on the team, that's why you go out and get a Travis, so he can make those plays. Because he is that special of a player. The problem is you don't want to have to rely on two spectacular plays, right? Because here's the difference. If he catches the interception and doesn't score a touchdown, are you sure you punch it in? If he doesn't make catch of the year, dragging that left toe before the right toe hit out of bounds, are you able to get it into the end zone? That is what I'm saying. I'm saying that against a 5-5 team, at the end of the day, there are your rivals. It's the Soul Bowl. This is a conference game. You're on the road, and it's always tough to win on the road. I get all of that. But what I'm saying is that game should have had a little more separation in it, especially towards the end. And Jackson State struggled. Shador's completion percentage was not typical, right? It wasn't typical. Savion's yards per carry. He's averaging over 5 yards per carry on the season. He only averaged 3 per carry in this game. That's not typical. And so there are some chinks there, some things that need to get cleaned up before your SWAC championship game. The beautiful thing is your SWAC, you get a week off. You get Thanksgiving. Folks are saying that the offensive line is having some issues, so the big boys get to go home or get to have Thanksgiving dinner with the team. They get to rest up. They get a week off. They get to chill, relax, do whatever before you head off to before you play your last home game on December 3rd, which I will be in the building for, by the way. And I want to make sure I meet and say what's up to everybody. So if you're going to be at the SWAC championship game, let me know in the chat and be sure to speak if we see each other. I'm trying to run across everybody and let me know where to go for the folks that be in Jackson or the Jackson natives or the JSU alums or whatever. Put in the chat where the place to eat. Where are the places to eat? I need to know because I will be in Jackson for the SWAC championship and I need to know where to go. I already got my hotel. I can tell you where my hotel's at, but my room's already booked. I need to know where the places to eat. Let me know in the chat for the folks that are JSU alums and put it in the comments as well. But what I'm saying is let's take a deep breath. And here's the thing. When you're as great of a team as Jackson State, there is a standard that people expect. Not just people, that even your own coaches expect. Prime said he wants to go out and dominate. He said at the beginning of the year, he said, I won last year. Winning's cool. I'm going to still enjoy the wins. You're an 11-0, the first time in school history. You finished the regular season undefeated, the first time in school history. It's been an amazing year. You've tied the school record in wins, right? All of that's amazing. Shedeur broke the passing touchdown record. Awesome. That is amazing. Savion Wilkinson went over 1,000 yards for the season. All of these things are great. But you're held to a certain standard, not just by me, but also by your coaches. And so therefore, when you don't dominate, you don't live up to that standard, it begs the question, why aren't you dominating? It begs for us to question and just ask the question. We're not questioning anything, just asking questions. That's all. If you want to get in here, you can call the number 727-731-8723, 727-731-8723. Now, it's Stamps. Is this a place? Stamps Burgers. Okay, go to Johnny T's. I need to know where to go. Go to Johnny T's. Johnny T's is the place. I hear about Johnny T's all the time. That's a pretty popular place, by the way. It says Shedeur has to play better. How can you be asking for private jets? That's actually kind of a funny question. They didn't play dominant football Saturday. They didn't, and they haven't for a couple of weeks. And so that is why we're asking the question, what are some of the problems? See you in Jackson for the SWAC Championship game. Absolutely. Almost every good team in college struggled this week. Tennessee lost their quarterback. Let's see. Thank you. Let's see. Hopefully the O-line can get healthy for the SWAC Championship game. I think they will. And that's why I think this bye week before the SWAC Championship game is critical. I think having Thanksgiving, being able to relax, rest, chill out, hang out, do whatever, and tighten up. It's a few things that are a little loose, right? It's a little loose right now. And we're only holding to the standard that your coach holds you as well. And so this is a week for you to tighten up. This is a week for you to be able to get some things together that maybe haven't been going as well as you want them to, and get ready for the SWAC Championship game. While the whole time, and I still think this is super unfair, the whole time North Carolina Central gets to just rest up and wait and game plan for a whole month. Hey, but that's neither here nor there. I think I'm going to wrap this. It said, what's up with Quay Davis? Quay Davis really ain't played all year, so I don't know what's up with that. That's a question for the coaching staff. Stamps, Super Burgers, Big Apple M. Okay, shout out to Carlin. I appreciate you, Carlin. Got to take mental notes about this. So also in the comments, let me know where to go eat. Other places in Jackson. I'm going to be in Jackson for a few days for the SWAC Championship game. So let me know the places to eat. Let's see. Shane Hooks should have had more passes thrown at him yesterday. He was 15. When Shane fumbled that ball, though, Javian, when you fumble the ball, folks second guess coming back to you. He caught a good pass, had a bunch of good yards, and then got the ball punched out. So who's playing with JSU in the SWAC Championship game? So it'll be decided after the Grambling Southern game. If Southern wins, they will play in the SWAC Championship game if they win the Bayou Classic. So, there's that. I think I'm going to get up out of here, guys. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Once again, my name is Jeff Lightsy Jr. This is the Victory Formation Sports Show right here on Jeff Lightsy Jr. YouTube. You can always check us out on YouTube at Jeff Lightsy Jr. Hit that thumbs up button on your way out. Hopefully this week, I think we got some announcements to make this week. And so if you tap in this week, we'll make some big announcements. Also, if you want to get in on some giveaways, we're going to do some giveaways in December to bless you guys, bless my supporters over the Christmas holiday. Join the channel, support the channel to help us keep going. And thank you guys so much. You guys make this fun to do all the time. We'll do more live call-in shows. Hit that thumbs up button on your way out, and I will see you next time.